So my name's Victoria.
My name's Addie.
And this is Miss Bonnie Frizzell.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Today we're going to be doing a little interview podcast about her as a dietitian and our Green Mind and Body project and how we're trying to implement healthy habits through the environment.
So you work at USMD,
Yes.
right? As a registered licensed dietitian?
Yes.
You want to give us a little background about how you got into the field and what made you want to become a dietitian?
Sure. When I started college, I started as a psychology major. And then my second year of college, I took a nutrition class as an elective. And that's when I really heard about dietitian. I never really heard about it before. And I was like, oh, I really love nutrition. I'm going to do that instead. Meats, eggs, cheese, fish.
Just the basics?
So any of your monounsaturated fats, so like olive oil, nuts, avocados, canola oil, those are the main sources that people should include in their diet for those healthy fats.
Are there specific ones that are really high in nutrients?
To me, they really are all good. You will hear people say, oh, don't eat bananas, they're too high in sugar. Don't eat, this or that. Some of them stand out like apples and pears because in addition to the nutrients, they have fiber in them, or more fiber than, say, bananas do. Yeah. Any of your berries are lower in sugar content, even though it's naturally occurring sugar, which some of that, it's okay. It's all the added stuff that you want to try and avoid. But when people are trying to be conscious of their carbohydrate intake, then I will encourage them to have berries.
Okay.
They're fruits.
You would suggest for people who don't want to indulge in say a bag of chips or something a little unhealthier?
Anything protein and fiber is always a recommendation for a snack. So it could be like a cheese stick or maybe some deli meat rolled up with a cheese stick, or apple apple and peanut butter, banana peanut butter.
Hearty foods and
Yeah, that fiber and the protein will help to keep you satisfied for longer.
Yeah, than carbs and stuff, quick carbs.
Soda, or any liquid calories, really. Liquid calories. People tend to overlook those. They're like, I'm not eating that much. You're like, what are you drinking? A 12-pack of soda a day. Okay. That's why we're getting in trouble. So that, and then the simple carbs, they're easy to eat. We tend to not feel satisfaction or a lot of fullness from them, so it's easy to eat too much of them. Yeah. So the chips, the pretzels, the crackers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think definitely today it's really easy because every restaurant they push you to get a soda or a soft drink.
Yes.
Every meal. And it's kind of normal now.
Yes,
to,
it is.
Consume it.
Yeah. It's just trying to. It started at home and make that personal choice for yourself. Hopefully the family at home provides healthy options with a mix in of a little bit of, not so healthy every now and then. I'm not opposed to that at all. We have plenty of it at our house, but to encourage, the healthier options as well, and then just try to make that a part of your day, even when you're around your peers at school or going out to dinner, still trying to be conscious of making a choice that is good for you, but you also know that you feel better when you eat it versus when you eat,
a bag of chips.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's just all about balance, a good balance between, your healthy options and, you can indulge
totally
in
agree.
a little something.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I do recommend probiotics and prebiotics. I think our food source is just not as great as it used to be.
For sure.
So I think some of our food, even if we buy what we think is the best
Fresh
or the healthiest
produce.
and the
Or
fresh,
organic,
it seems to be still lacking, I think, some of the nutrients just because of the process it goes through to get to our grocery store.
Yeah.
So I recommend those, and I do recommend vitamins, even just a general multivitamin for people, just because I just don't think that most of us are eating a good enough variety to get all those nutrients in.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I was kind of against taking it because it was unnatural. But then I realized that a lot of the foods I eat pretty bad anyway, so at least I'm trying to get my nutrients
Exactly.
in a different source.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Our bodies are very much affected by what we put into them. And not everybody pays attention to that, but or even makes the connection between why am I tired all the time? Why am I not sleeping well? Why is my skin not getting clear? Why don't I have the energy that everybody else has? Why is my stomach hurting? Or what, it a lot of times goes back to what we're eating. So, just being aware of what you're eating and how your body feels when you eat different foods.
Yeah, like the food you're eating can affect how like the rest of your day goes.
It
That's
can.
Like
what you're
Absolutely.
putting in your body, like,
Yes,
for sure.
you can be sluggish if you eat a bad breakfast or a bad lunch. Your classes are gonna be like struggling to pay attention, or just have that awareness that you need to take in whatever information is being presented to you.
Yeah. I think also, like, mentally, like, if I know it's healthy, then, like, I make myself feel better. Like, it feels better. Like,
it feels better to know you're making a good choice.
Yeah. Like, not just, like, physically, but it's like I reached, like, a goal, like, a discipline, like, making myself like a healthier choice.
Yeah. Absolutely look at what you're eating. And for a lot of people, it helps to write it down. People don't love doing that, but we tend to forget. We're busy, we don't remember what we ate for breakfast yesterday. So I have people just write it down for a week or two and just see, I'm having, junk food more often than I thought I was, not realizing, or, I'm not really getting hardly any protein in, or there's no vitamins or fiber from fruits and vegetables coming in. So I always encourage them to look at what they're doing first, and then we can look at what needs to be changed.
I think that's actually, like, a pretty good tip.
Yeah.
I do not remember. That's why I take pictures of my food, so I can,
especially when you're just, like, mindlessly eating at home.
Yeah.
You're just, like,
I
didn't even realize I was eating that much.
Yeah.
It's, like, easy to, like, overeat or, like, binge eat without noticing.
Yeah. You get bored or whatever, and you're like, I'm going to go
cold
get
outside.
a snack. Yes. Yeah. We're going to be home
like,
tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
Overeating is a big problem. And just choosing, wrong foods. There's, with even for, different disease states, cardiovascular health or diabetes, or obesity, any of them, just sometimes people just aren't making the connection again between the food and how it's helping or harming their bodies. So trying to get that education across to people that it absolutely is making a very big difference in physically, mentally, all the things in your body. So just trying to encourage people to give it a try, to try changing what you eat and see if you feel better. 9 times out of 10, if not more, they do.
And just like a little change in the diet, because there's always better options out there.
Yeah. And start small. I always tell people, just start small. Start with one thing. If you're drinking 12 sodas a day, let's try to go down let's cut it in half. Let's start with cutting it in half and do that for a few days, and then we can just keep going down from there.
Yeah, and making those decisions will probably, like, trick your mind into being like, you eat healthy, like, you feel better on the inside.
Yes,
so it'll
help you to stay with it until you do
it.
actually feel better.
And I've heard stories where people, they lean away from their, like, regular habits of, like, eating a bunch of sugar and stuff, and they say that once they get off of it, it's, like, really hard at first, and then eventually they just don't crave it at all.
That's true. That's true. I've heard it forever from patients, and they're
and, like, they actually crave the healthy foods. Like, people who like eat salads every day, like, that's something that they want. Like, if you train yourself, I feel like it becomes, like, natural.
It does, yeah. And then oftentimes when people do kind of revert back, even if just for a meal or whatever, then it makes them, like, sick to their stomach, because they're not used to it.
Sugar.
It's like, I can't handle that anymore. I'm like, oh, that's a good thing.
It's just hard on the holidays. Like, I feel like
it is.
I've been trying, like, really hard.
It is hard. I kind of go for the 80-20 rule with people, just 80% of the time, try to make good choices and ask yourself, what is this doing for my body? Is this doing something good for me, or is this just really for my taste buds? And it's not doing anything past that. But then 20% of the time, have whatever it is you
Yeah.
want. But if, most of the time you're making good choices, then you're good.
Yeah, and a lot of kids don't realize like the effect eating young, like starting habits, like will
Yeah.
continue throughout your whole life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
eating good, starting young is creating just
important.
very good habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We actually just did we went to a class recently, of elementary kids, second graders, and we did a little presentation on lion, a little plate where they had carrots and celery and cheese, and they would dress it on the plate to make it look like a lion. It was like a
Aw.
healthy snack alternative.
Cute. But making it fun, and so
Yeah.
that makes it interesting
And they
for
actually
them.
wanted more. Like, they kept
Yes.
asking for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the little tricks that we have to do
Yeah.
to get the
And they
kids.
did like it. Like, they eat it. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I don't even eat celery or carrots. So I was glad that they were eating it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Just go for it. Go for it. Even if you just start with one meal a day and say, I'm going to start with my breakfast meal, and that'll be my focus for the next month. Just let me see, play around with different things that I can have that make me feel better during the day, make my focus better during the day that I like, and kind of get that under your belt, and then go on to the next meal or snack. So baby steps, but it's doable. It's doable. You just have to do it, and don't be concerned about what other people say. Oh, she's eating a salad for lunch. Yeah, and I'm gonna feel good afterwards. So
Yeah.
what? So
Yeah.
don't worry about other people. Just do your thing and take baby steps and make one change at a time.
Like, so start off small and stay consistent.
Yes,
Yeah.
consistency is everything.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for
your
coming.
time.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It was actually really helpful. I
Yeah.
think,
Good.
Lots of
hearing
knowledge.
yeah. We think these are self-explanatory, but, like, when you hear it, I can see the ways I can improve myself, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. Awesome.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.